The volcanic hellscape of Mustafar burned beneath two figures locked in mortal combat. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, master and apprentice, brothers in all but blood, danced their deadly ballet across the mining facility's collapsing platforms. Their lightsabers, blue and red, carved through the sulfurous air, each strike carrying the weight of betrayal, each parry echoing with lost friendship. Sparks flew as their blades met, illuminating faces twisted with anguish and rage. The heat was suffocating. Lava erupted in geysers around them as they leaped from platform to platform, their force-enhanced agility the only thing keeping them from the molten death below. Years of training together made them perfect mirrors, Anakin's raw power meeting Obi-Wan's refined technique in a stalemate that seemed destined to end in tragedy. The mining facility groaned and buckled around them, metal screaming as it warped in the intense heat. "I have the high ground!" Obi-Wan's voice cracked with emotion as he stood on the black sandbank above the lava river. Anakin tensed on a floating platform, his eyes burning with Sith fury. "You underestimate my power! Don't try it!" But Anakin leaped anyway, soaring through the air with his lightsaber raised. Time slowed. Obi-Wan's blade moved with surgical precision, severing Anakin's limbs in a single devastating sweep. The young man crumbled toward the lava bank, helpless and broken. This was the moment everything changed. Instead of walking away, instead of letting destiny claim its prize, Obi-Wan stretched out his hand. The Force flowed through him with desperate strength, catching Anakin inches from the molten rock. Tears streamed down Obi-Wan's face, evaporating in the volcanic heat as he fought against the weight of his fallen apprentice and the crushing weight of his own breaking heart. With tremendous effort, muscles straining and spirit crying out, he pulled his former apprentice to safety on the black sand. Anakin lay unconscious, bearing terrible burns, but alive, whole enough to survive without becoming more machine than man. Meanwhile, across the galaxy on Coruscant, another pivotal confrontation reached its climax. In the Chancellor's office, Mace Windu pressed his attack against Darth Sidious. The Sith Lord kept glancing toward the door, clearly expecting his new apprentice, but Anakin Skywalker would never arrive. With each passing second, Palpatine's confidence wavered, the careful orchestration of decades beginning to unravel in the absence of one crucial piece. Waiting for young Skywalker? Mace's purple blade pushed Sidious back toward the shattered window, its unique crystal humming with righteous fury. "He won't be coming. The Council has foreseen your deception." Sidious unleashed his force lightning in desperation, scarring his own face as Mace deflected it back. But without the betrayal he'd orchestrated, without Anakin to strike down the Jedi Master at the crucial moment, Sidious found himself overwhelmed. When Yoda arrived with Bail Organa and loyal senators, broadcasting the battle across the holonet, the galaxy watched in horror as their Chancellor revealed himself as a Sith Lord. The Emperor fell, and with him died the Order 66 command that would have destroyed the Jedi. The Empire stillborn, the Republic endured. Days later in the Jedi Temple, Anakin Skywalker faced judgment. He confessed everything: the younglings he'd slaughtered, the separatist leaders he'd executed, his allegiance to the Sith. His voice cracked and broke as he spoke each name, each life he'd stolen, each trust he'd betrayed. The Force itself seemed to recoil from the weight of his confession, shadows lengthening in the ancient chamber as if darkness itself was being expelled from his soul. The Council listened in stone-faced silence, though Yoda's ears drooped lower with each revelation, and even Mace Windu's stern expression flickered with something that might have been pity. The Council debated execution, but Padmé Amidala, heavy with child, entered to plead for mercy. "Execute him, and you become the very absolutism that created this tragedy," she argued with senatorial skill, her voice steady despite the tears threatening to fall. Her hands protectively cradled her swollen belly, where 2 lives grew, innocents who deserved a chance to know their father as more than a cautionary tale. The galaxy has seen Jedi justice defeat the Sith. Now let them see Jedi mercy. Show them that the light side offers not just victory, but wisdom. The wisdom to know that even the fallen can rise again. By the narrowest margin, they chose life, but not freedom. Anakin would face lifelong imprisonment and spiritual rehabilitation under Obi-Wan's supervision. It would be a redemption harder than death. On Polis Massa, Padme gave birth to twins, Luke and Leia. Without a broken heart to claim her, she survived to raise them on Alderaan under Bail Organa's protection. When Obi-Wan told Anakin of his twins, the fallen Jedi wept. "Twins? I have twins?" "Yes, a boy and a girl. Luke has your eyes, your spirit. Leia, she has your fire." but tempered with her mother's wisdom. Obi-Wan's voice softened. And as you heal, as you prove yourself, you may even earn the right to meet them. But that could take years, Anakin. Years, he whispered, his voice breaking. The word hung between them like a sentence worse than death. For them, I'll try. For them, I'll crawl through hell itself. The path to redemption was agonizing. Anakin memorized the name of every youngling he'd killed, meditated on every life he'd taken. Each name was a blade through his heart, each face that haunted his dreams a reminder of the monster he'd become. In the ancient meditation chambers, the walls seemed to press in with the weight of centuries of Jedi wisdom, judging him, finding him wanting. Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost appeared to guide him, his translucent form radiating the warmth and patience Anakin remembered from childhood stories Obi-Wan had shared. Day by day, year by year, Anakin confronted his darkness without the Sith to shield him from guilt. The galaxy, meanwhile, struggled with Palpatine's legacy. Governor Tarkin declared martial law in the Outer Rim. Director Krennic vanished with plans for a planet-killing weapon. The Jedi Council, forced to confront their own failures, realized they needed someone who understood Sidious's thinking. Anakin knows his plans, Mace Windu admitted reluctantly. We need him. Under heavy guard and wearing Force dampeners, Anakin began helping track down Imperial remnants. His first mission to Geonosis uncovered the Death Star plans, a weapon that could destroy entire worlds. The technical readouts scrolled across the screen, each specification more horrifying than the last. A super laser powered by 8 massive kyber crystal arrays, capable of reducing a planet to asteroid debris in seconds. The horror in Anakin's eyes was genuine as he downloaded the data, his hands trembling as he recognized calculations in his own handwriting, improvements he suggested to Palpatine in darker days. Sidious showed me the early designs. He said it would bring peace through fear. I helped refine the focusing arrays. They destroyed the facility and broadcast the evidence, horrifying the galaxy and strengthening the Republic. But each mission tortured Anakin. Clone troopers like Captain Rex, men he'd led and called brothers, looked at him with betrayal. Some forgave, many couldn't. Years passed. The Jedi Order reformed, allowing emotional connections and family contact. Padmé raised Luke and Leia on Alderaan, telling them their father was working to help people far away. Luke would stare at the stars each night, unknowingly reaching out through the Force toward a father he'd never met. Leia, fierce even as a child, would demand to know why other children had fathers who came home. Padmé would hold them close, whispering that love sometimes meant sacrifice, that their father's absence was his greatest gift to them, the gift of a galaxy where they could grow up free. Anakin saw them only in supervised visits, unable to even hold them, the Force dampeners preventing him from sensing their presence fully. The ultimate test came when they discovered the Acolytes of the Beyond, a dark side cult attempting to resurrect Sidious using ancient Sith artifacts. The Council sensed this was meant for Anakin, a trial by the Force itself. If I go, I might fall again, Anakin warned. Yes, Obi-Wan agreed, but running from darkness gives it power. At the cult's stronghold, they found younglings about to be sacrificed. Rage exploded through Anakin, the same fury that had driven him to darkness. The Force dampeners, damaged in combat, failed. Power surged through him. For a moment, he teetered on the edge. Then, a child screamed, and instead of rage, Anakin felt memory. The Temple younglings, their trust becoming terror. He chose differently this time, using the Force to shield the children, defending rather than destroying. You're weak, the cult leader spat. No, Anakin replied, trembling with effort. For the first time, I'm strong. The final mission came years later. On Exegol, a secret Sith world, cultists were cloning Palpatine, attempting to resurrect their master. The planet itself was wrong. The Force screamed warnings with every step they took on its ancient surface. Lightning coursed through crimson clouds above, and the very ground beneath their feet was littered with the bones of 1,000 generations of Sith acolytes. A small team infiltrated the planet. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka Tano, his former Padawan who'd survived in exile, her presence in the Force like a beacon of hope in the overwhelming darkness. In the Sith Citadel, they found the cloning chambers and a massive holocron containing Sidious's essence. As they fought the awakening clones, Sidious's voice boomed from the holocron. Take the power, young Skywalker. Save your friends. Embrace your destiny. Anakin seized the holocron, and everyone froze. Dark energy surged through him, but instead of wielding it, he contained it. He was pulling all the darkness into himself, becoming a living prison for the Sith's evil. "Get out!" he roared as the Citadel began collapsing. "I have to end this!" Standing at the Citadel's apex as his team escaped, Anakin spread his arms wide, drawing every trace of dark side energy into himself so it couldn't escape into the galaxy. The pain was indescribable, like swallowing molten metal, like every nerve ending catching fire simultaneously. His body convulsed as millennia of Sith hatred, rage, and malice poured through him. But beneath the agony, he felt something else: peace. For the first time since that terrible night in the Jedi Temple, Anakin Skywalker knew with absolute certainty that he was doing the right thing. The explosion was visible from orbit, a crimson flower blooming against the stars. When they found him in the debris, his hair had turned white from the strain, his life ebbing away. "Tell my children," he whispered to Ahsoka. "Tell them their father loved them. Tell them he finally learned the difference between attachment and love. Tell them to be better than I was." The funeral at the Jedi Temple broke tradition. Luke and Leia, now 10, stood with their mother as their father's body burned. They learned the truth gradually. Their father had done terrible things, but died saving everyone. The flames danced higher, and in their light, the twins finally understood why their mother had sometimes cried while looking at hollows of a young man with kind eyes and a cocky smile. The man their father had been before the darkness claimed him. As the pyre blazed, Anakin appeared one last time as a Force ghost beside Qui-Gon. For the first time since their birth, the twins felt their father's presence fully in the Force. "I love you both," his spirit said simply. "Always remember, the dark side offers easy answers, but the light is worth fighting for." Years later, the galaxy had found balance. The Republic reformed with checks against tyranny. The Jedi evolved into guides who understood that emotion wasn't the enemy, unchecked emotion was. Luke and Leia grew to become a new kind of Jedi, trained in love as well as discipline. The prophecy of the Chosen One had been fulfilled through an unexpected path. Not through wholesale slaughter or absolute power, but through choice. The choice to face darkness, seek redemption, and sacrifice everything so others could build something better. The age of absolutes ended. The age of balance began. And in the Force, all was finally well. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternative Star Wars universe where destiny takes unexpected turns and balance means something entirely different, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We explore the infinite possibilities hidden within the galaxy far, far away, asking the questions that reshape everything you thought you knew. The Force has many paths. Come discover them with us.